Jacob and Esau, Genesis 25. The picture shows how lentils look when they're still in the pod, and then the other picture shows what the lentils look like after they've been cooked in a stew. Lentils have a reddish color when cooked. Lentils grow very well even in poor soil, and it was probably grown as a crop in Abraham's time. Abraham took another wife. You can read how Sarah, his first wife, died in chapter 23. His new wife was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan fathered Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letushim, and Leumim. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanak, Abida, and Aldeah. All these were the children of Keturah. Abraham gave all he had to Isaac, but to the sons of his concubines Abraham gave gifts, and while he was still living he sent them away from his son Isaac eastward to the east country. The picture shows the cave of Machpelah, where Abraham had buried Sarah, his first wife. These are the days of the years of Abraham's life, 175 years. Sarah had died at the age of 127. Abraham breathed his last and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. Isaac and Ishmael his sons buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron the son of Zohar the Hittite, east of Mamre, the field that Abraham purchased from the Hittites. There Abraham was buried with Sarah his wife. After the death of Abraham, God blessed Isaac his son, and Isaac settled at Beer Lahai-roi. Remember that Beer Lahai-roi was where Hagar had declared that God is a God who hears. She had been pregnant and was running away from her mistress. These are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham fathered Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Paddan Aram, and that Bethuel would have been Isaac's cousin. So he took Bethuel's daughter, Rebekah, the sister of Laban the Aramean, to be his wife, and Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord granted his prayer, and Rebekah his wife conceived. He was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as a wife, and he was 70 when his twins were born to them, so that meant they had to wait for 20 years. Well, actually, he must have been 60 because they waited 20 years, so 40 plus 20 is 60. The children struggled together within her, and she said, "If it is thus, why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other, the older shall serve the younger." When her days to give birth were completed, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red. All his body was a hairy cloak, so they called his name Esau. Afterward his brother came out with his hand holding Esau's heel, so his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. So Esau was the first one, and his name in Hebrew was hairy. Edom means red in Hebrew, and Jacob meant originally, may God protect, but it came to be known as deceiver. When it says she went to inquire of the Lord, she could possibly have gone to a nearby place of worship. The two nations that the Lord explained to her about were the nation of Israel, who would come from the younger of the two babies, Jacob, and the nation of Edom, because that would be they would be the descendants of Esau, the older. Now, usually the older would get to rule over the younger. But the Lord is sovereign and he does what he pleases. And in this case, the Lord wanted Jacob to be the one who rules and be stronger than the younger, or the older would have to serve the younger. So Esau would have to serve Jacob. When the boys grew up, Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was a quiet man, dwelling in tents. Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. It says that Jacob was a quiet man. The Hebrew means complete and gives the feeling of being civilized or fine. This stands in contrast to Esau's particular style or skill of hunting. Once, when Jacob was cooking stew, Esau came in from the field, and he was exhausted. And Esau said to Jacob, "Let me eat some of that red stew." In Hebrew, the word is more rough. It says, "Let me eat some of this red stuff, for I am exhausted." Therefore, his name was called Edom. Edom, as I said earlier, means red. Jacob said, "Sell me your birthright now." Esau said, "I am about to die. Of what use is a birthright to me?" Jacob said, "Swear to me now." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. It says in ancient times, the birthright included the inheritance rights of the firstborn. The firstborn had the right to be the principal heir of the family fortune. The father's inheritance was divided by the number of sons, but the firstborn always had the right to two portions. In the covenant family, the birthright also included the Lord's promises that had been given to Abraham. The birthright was despised by Esau because he was godless. He was more interested in satisfying his temporary appetites, but he was thoughtless and careless with the covenant promises that Isaac inherited from Abraham. Jacob obviously cared about the birthright, but the way he went about getting the birthright was not very compassionate. It says, although Jacob gained the birthright in a sinful way, God used this sinful action to continue his plan of salvation.